Winona, you came and you gave me a boner, but you're out of my league. I'm Sam.
There can only be one. I'm Jackie.
So, Joss Whedon sucks, right? I'm Justin, and this is Alien Resurrection on Stinger Madness. Hello, welcome to the return of Stinger Madness, our first episode of 2022. Thanks for being patient with us over our break. It was a good 2 weeks off for us, and much needed. This week on the show, streaming on Amazon Prime, it's Sigourney Weaver, Winona Ryder, Ron Perlman, Dan Hedaya, Brad Dourif. Who else we got?
Michael fucking Wincott.
Michael fucking Wincott, absolutely. And a couple of people whose faces you've seen 1,000 times. In Alien Resurrection from 1997. Sam, go!
We'll start with where you were at on Whedon. He was pretty unhappy with this, too.
Okay.
Every time I watch this movie, I'm like, man, what I would like to see instead of this movie is a movie centered around that crew. He thought that, too. That's why he made Firefly. He was so pissed off about this movie that it took Firefly to get it out of his system. So I feel like he shouldn't be worshipped, but I don't think he's that bad.
Do we, anybody here watch Firefly? Any of us?
No.
I didn't.
I haven't made it all the way through the show. I like Serenity, the movie that ends the series. I've seen most of it here and there. I've never sat down and watched it all the way through. And Serenity finishes the story of the series. So, like, I really like that movie a lot.
So are they space truckers in Firefly?
Yeah, there's space truckers in there. It's sort of like the outlaw Josie Wales is a space trucker, is what Firefly is. It actually might push your buttons. It's just, it takes a while to get into because it's got his tongue-in-cheek humor is abrasive at first, and it takes some time to wear on you. It's also one of those things that once you sort of get there with Nathan Fillion, it sucks because you're like, wow, I fucking love Nathan Fillion now. I will watch anything with that guy in it. Like, I watched fucking Castle, and that's not really that great of a show. It's just murder he wrote. But I'm like, it doesn't matter. Nathan Fillion just is so good that I watch whatever he's in.
Okay.
Who's Nathan Fillion?
The main in Firefly, the handsome guy. His hair is perfectly combed.
Oh, I don't know. I've never seen the show.
You'd recognize his face.
You would like Castle a lot, Jackie.
It's, he looks a lot like, Captain Jack from Doctor Who, whatever his name was.
Oh God, yes. Handsome man.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Where's that Castle show?
I don't know. It was on ABC, so whoever streams ABC's shit is going to have it.
Probably Hulu then.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And not to be a weirdo, but did you install a sex swing behind you, Sam? What is that? Oh, okay. Never mind. It's just a guitar holder.
Guitar.
It looked like a sex swing. Like, I could see the very top of it, and I was like, ooh, a new sex swing in the old office there.
I think what's happening is that everything looks like gross sex because you just watched Alien 4. Because everything in this movie is gross sex. I'll skip ahead to where I was going to finish.
Okay.
This movie falls flat because its big reveal is a really shitty alien. Mm-hmm. It's really bad. And why did that happen? Well, the original one was probably pretty good. And one of the producers, unnamed, deemed that it looked too much like the alien at the end of Species, which meant that it probably looked fairly awesome. Mm-hmm. And they did this instead, and they went like, okay, well, now it would be more of a grotesque accident. But then with the same thing that was happening with this whole movie's just grotesque sexualism, I guess somebody was like, well, they have to explain its reproductive cycle because that's another big problem with this movie. At the end, you're like, well, this thing isn't even dangerous. It can't reproduce. It doesn't make sense scientifically.
It does not make sense.
But they tried to make that make sense in the model by making it a hermaphrodite. So it had a huge cock and a vagina. And they had to take that out. And you can go to the Wikipedia page and see the picture, and you're like, oh, what a gross-looking penis.
But it's big, right?
It's a big cock.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Now we're cooking.
Now we're cooking, yeah. And maybe that was supposed to be, that was going to balance out the sort of like every man in space is Harvey Weinstein thing that's happening for this whole movie. And they're like, oh, look, the aliens got a big cock. We're gross that way too. And then somebody saw it and they were like, no, Whatever you gotta do to scrub that shit out with CGI, fucking do it right now. That is a grotesque, slimy, giant cock.
Oh, God.
There's only one shot that I noticed of the... I've heard it called the hybrid. I've also heard it called the newborn.
The newborn is what it is officially by fandom.
There's only one shot of it in full flagrante delicto, as it were. The whole thing, and it's brief. Most of it's just shots from the neck up. Yeah,
it looks bad, but it doesn't. I had to go through and look at a bunch of pictures of it to just be. I've still never been able to make sense of some of the decisions in this movie, and knowing what happened with the giant cock is even more frustrating and confusing to me. So I was looking at a lot of pictures of it, and it actually doesn't look that bad for some angles. And it seems like if they would have visually played the idea that it was sort of like this whole thing is a giant fuck up,
right,
then it may have worked better. I feel like Joss Whedon's script may have worked better had the director Jean-Pierre Jeunet directed it to play it straight. He took a lot of the comedy out because he's like, no, it needs to be a horror. Somebody told me it has to be a horror. He won't ever work in Hollywood again because he's like, fuck all you people. I don't hate that movie the way it turned out, but I don't like the process of Hollywood, because the next movie that guy makes is Amelie, which is arguably the greatest romantic comedy ever fucking made.
And why is he involved? Like,
he had done City of Lost Children, so they're like, oh wow, let's get this guy in. He's obviously good at science fiction. And the process of this movie, there was 3 parts that didn't work together. It was him, Joss Whedon, and the ADI, the people that did the creatures. And they came from Stan Winston's crew. They're good at what they do. It's just that those 3 pieces never saw eye to eye, and this thing is a fucking mess because of it.
So I got a question about the makeup creature feature people.
ADI.
Were they the same ones that did Skeletor for the He-Man movie?
No, they actually did 3.
Okay, because
that you mean Alien 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the monster has the same eye area as Skeletor from the He-Man movie.
He looks like Frank Langella. You're absolutely right.
I invite you to take a look at the images of the newborn, and I really feel like had they shot it at different angles and done different things with it, it wouldn't have been as bad. It's still gross. And if they would have been allowed to do what they want with the giant cock, I'm just not sure what would have happened here.
Mm-hmm.
But
they could have used it as a weapon,
right?
Yeah, and you just go back to whoever the producer was that decided to say no to that first model. No one stopped him and said, "Hey, is looking too much like another creature worse than what's going to happen next?"
Right.
And that answer was, no, it's not. But so you just stop right there and say, okay, we'll take the heat on this one. Whatever.
I also want to point out, speaking of special effects or visual effects, Petoff makes his second appearance on the podcast. I had to go, Petoff, why does that name sound so familiar? He directed Catwoman.
Oh.
The guy with one name who thinks he deserves to have one name has only been on this podcast for 2 reasons: Catwoman and Alien Resurrection. He probably had a lot to do with the giant alien dick.
What?
If you got one name, you're the type of person that puts a giant penis on an alien.
Okay, look it up on your phone so I can see this thing. Because I left my phone upstairs.
Okay, all right.
We got to look at this thing now. I'm super curious.
What's a good Google search term, Sam?
Just go to the Wikipedia page. Just go to Alien 4 Resurrection, click on the Wikipedia, and scroll down. There's a lot. To the listeners, I'm glossing over the fucking catastrophe that the making of this movie was, because I found those interesting tidbits to be the most important thing to talk about. If you want to fucking read about a movie that was a fucking disaster, read about this one. The trivia is a mile long on IMDb. All movie has a bunch of weird shit on it, and the Wikipedia production is a good read. So... the other interesting things was that why did Sigourney Weaver do it when she said she wasn't going to do it? They gave her a producer credit so that she could get more than the $11 million that they gave her to do the movie, which is the exact amount of the budget of the first Alien. She described
how much did she get?
$11 million before the back end. She said that I didn't want to do it, but then they brought a dump truck full of money to my house. Walter Hill gets to be a producer on this and an extra, I guess. I didn't see him. I didn't notice him. I don't know why he got in on the cash grab. And the cash grab worked. This thing made $140 million domestically, 141 domestically, something like that, against a $70 million budget, which is probably an inflated number, or it's just that's how much it costs when you have to redo that many things.
All right, so I'm not sure that it is a penis, Sam. I think it might be a giant clitoris.
No, it's supposed to have... This is where it's
clearly
dubious.
a vagina. There is clearly a vagina on that
There's a cock
newborn.
and a vagina because its only way to reproduce itself is to get to Earth and start fucking itself while it's smashing people's heads. Like, this is such a bad idea. Like, what's that alien thing to do? It's going to kill us all and then it's going to fuck itself a lot? Like, what the fuck kind of an idea is that?
This one was way better than the one that made the movie.
It's the same one. They just use CGI to get the cock off there.
The bits. Man.
Well, and you really don't notice giant cock.
Well,
you
no,
can't.
Because it's not in the movie.
That's what they did.
No, in the model.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. The first time I saw it, I was like, goo!
Well, it's kind of giving itself a mangina. It's tucked back. It's buffalo
It's
bobbin.
inside of its own. The penis is in its own. Like it's fucking itself.
Yeah.
24/7.
Right.
It's really fucking gross and weird.
Are we seeing its O face? Whenever it looks at Sigourney Weaver, are we seeing its O face? Are we looking into its soul right then?
Yeah. It can't. It's only killing people because it's so frustrated at its existence. It's like, this is great, but I can't stop fucking myself.
Yeah.
I'm going to bite your head off.
It just doesn't know its own strength, so whenever it grabs onto a person's head, it's actually wanting to hug because it's feeling intimate, but it's like, oh, I smashed you, oopsie.
And then it's like, ugh.
Oh, God, this movie just got a whole lot dumber because I didn't think... I mean, this is top 10 dumb, in my opinion.
This is so dumb.
It's so stupid. So I guess, are we ready to get into it? Or we got...
Yeah, I don't have anything else super interesting. The Sigourney
can talk
Weaver
about
apparently...
aliens, but
we'll talk about the basketball thing when we get there. How about that?
yeah. I mean, the only real new thing we see in this is the newborn, and that's, you know...
Oh, and that one scientist ponytail that had like a bracelet around
Brad
it.
Dourif's, man bun.
And let's start at the beginning. The movie starts, whatever. Or before we even talk about this, the idea of Alien in this movie is they're going to create an alien-human hybrid, and no one went. The way that this universe works is that they take like 3/4 of their DNA from their host. It's already that stupid.
Right, exactly. And Paul Reiser's character, who wanted to exploit the aliens, was, of course, for military purposes. He wanted to turn them into, put them into a country.
House pets.
No, they're velociraptors. He wanted to drop them on Afghanistan and have them just wipe out the Taliban, right? What's the point of this one? What? Nobody goes, even if that wasn't the case, Sam, they go, yeah, but why?
Well, they're on Space Station Weinstein 5. They're all grotesque sexual monsters.
Right. Okay.
Everyone in this movie is, and they're like, okay, there's probably legitimate weaponized projects happening other places in space. This is just, these guys are a little bit off the reservation, and they're trying to make the pleasure itself model.
So they're essentially Joseph Goebbels of sexual repression?
I don't even know.
Well, they do say at one point, guys, that they did this because the vaccines and cures for different diseases is possible with this new hybrid race. They say it to her when she's eating.
So you don't need to create a whole monster baby. You just need it's DNA, and that's what you got.
Well, now we have to save all this for the end.
Okay,
because I'm going to just start asking questions. Why?
Okay.
Why?
So we start out with arguably the worst title sequence I've ever seen in my entire life. It feels very made for television.
Sci-fi original.
Yeah. Oh God. Ugh, it's already gross. So we're following the USM, what I'm going to call the Arugula, because its name is very close to arugula. You might want to, hey, check that first. There's 42 people on board. It's a science vessel, and as we say, they're making Ripleys. They've got test tube Ripleys. They've somehow gone back in time 200 years to Fury 161, where she was at in Alien 3, the prison planet, scooped up some of her goop that was left over when she got burninated, and said, let's make some Ripleys and give her some xenomorph powers.
I am imagining, because they give you a year amount, like a time period that's passed, that is 200 years. Mm-hmm. So I imagine this is like the 37th or 40th try on something like this.
Well, she's number 8.
She's number 8 in this process.
Right.
I'm saying that this whole spaceship is like the 30th or 40th time that fucking wackos have tried some bullshit, and this is the sexually degenerate crew that's running it.
So you're saying first they started with like William Shatner, like let's get some William Shatner DNA and mix it with the xenomorph. See how that goes. No, that didn't work. Let's get Shaq. Shaq will do it.
When they first find whatever is left of her at the end of Alien 3, mm-hmm. in between Alien 3 and this, like right after the end of Alien 3, and they're like, okay, what are we going to do with this fucking mess? We should save that DNA. And they freeze her, and then they like cut off little slivers for, a couple hundred years trying to play God. And
so she's Ripley xenomorph hybrid number 8, but she's actually like many generations of Ripley clones, like Ripley sex bot, Ripley construction worker.
I guess.
This is your theory, dude.
I know. I mean, because they did this one where it fucks itself.
Uh-huh.
I'm figuring that these mad scientists of the space alien universe have tried to do everything before this. Like they even tried to turn them into cakey treats.
Cakey treat.
Because I feel like cakey treats happens before the model that fucks itself.
And did anybody else get the pervy vibe when all the scientists are standing around the tube, watching it from...
Uh-huh.
It starts out with kiddie porn. Let's not fucking dance around it.
Yeah.
It's true.
And they're all like, oh, it's perfect. Look at it. And come on.
Yeah, Brad Dourif, he pulls on his dick a little bit during that scene.
Yeah, it was gross.
Yeah. And not Brad Dourif, the character. Brad Dourif is fantastic in all things he ever touches. So
everyone in this movie is 100% full blast them, and they're doing what they're being told to do, and they all have beauty in it. I am vexed by this movie because everyone that is in it, I'm like, I love what you've done here. God, I hate this thing.
So you're saying that the acting in this film is a beautiful butterfly?
It is. It is a beautiful butterfly. When we get to Dan Hedaya and Michael Wincott scene.
What is Dan Hedaya doing in an alien movie?
He's a beautiful butterfly in this movie. He looks at his own brain.
Oh no. Okay, we gotta.
I mean, wouldn't you though? Right, you're gonna kick it.
Let's get there. All right. So Brad Dourif is the chief scientist, and he, after Ripley grows up to be Ripley age, he cuts open her tummy and pulls out
chest, sir.
Which doesn't make any sense because, no, he cuts open her tummy.
No, it's her chest.
It's not in the shot. It's her tummy.
Later,
right. The scar is up by her knockers.
Oh, now that I'm thinking about it, you're right.
It's just continuity, and it's stupid because nobody paid attention to anything of what they were doing in this movie. But he then pulls out a xenomorph, hello, my baby, hello, my darling. And I guess that's the queen?
Yeah.
She's hatched a queen? How did that queen get in her tummy?
Don't they say something about it in the end of Alien 2 or 3 or something like that?
That a face sucker
that she's going to be a queen or some bullshit? I don't know.
I don't know how that... Well, she's dead.
Maybe because when they scraped up her goop, it also had some of the queen's goop.
And so just naturally formed into a xenomorph inside of her chest?
Yeah.
I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. The xenomorph...
The alien needed a host. She was the host because the DNA was scrubbed up together.
Uh-huh.
And that's how that thing got into her.
I guess I don't have a better theory, because the reproductive cycle of the xenomorphs is the queen lays eggs like a bug, and the eggs then hatch, facesuckers come out, they leap onto your face, they implant you with embryos in your chest that then pop out of you and become xenomorphs. I mean, none of those steps happened to this clone person.
No.
They have to have the queen in order to make xenomorphs.
And
which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah, also, like, the way that all this idea for Alien or any of these movies that are like this, or science fiction involving parasitic monsters, is that they attach themselves to the host in the way that they're not surgically removable without killing the host.
Right.
That's how they work.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do it otherwise. So, like, already we've gotten off on the wrong foot.
Very on the wrong foot. Okay, so anyways, they've got the queen now. She's got, like, super soldier juice into her because she grows to a full queen size in, like, 3 days. They even say, like, oh, yeah, she's a real grower, this one, because we got in there and Dr. Henry wooed it, I guess. But anyways, so they wrap Ripley up in cheesecloth and stick her in the basement. They're like, that's where you live now.
Yeah, they don't even give her a fucking bed. Not even a hospital bed.
Our very expensive science project, the linchpin to the whole thing that we're trying to accomplish, is just chuck her in the basement with some cheesecloth.
Well, that's not, because they're like, should we keep this one? Can I keep this one alive? Is what Brad Dourif says. And he's like, oh, I know what you're going to do with that. And I'm like, oh, this is fucking gross.
Science. I'm doing science.
Doing science. Oh, my science is getting all over my hands.
God.
My science has ruined my pants again. It's so grotesquely sexual when they're looking at her and they're like feeling her up. Also, the movie's like, look how sexy Sigourney Weaver is. I don't want to talk shit about Sigourney Weaver, but the way that the movie's telling me how sexy she is, my response is, I'm going to need a few before I get in there on that.
Right. The thing about Ripley is why she's such a fantastic character is because she's not the archetype of the 80s action babe. She's a space trucker. God damn it.
Yeah. And in the first Alien, you're like, they don't throw her at you as this big sexy thing. It's just a thing that happens as a byproduct as you see her in her underwear for a reason that's explained in the movie. And you're like, right. Oh shit, you're pretty hot, Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
Like, I never think of her being sexy until I see that shot of her in her underwear in Alien. And I'm like, oh, I understand now why everyone was like, boing, you are pretty hot, but it does you play not work a very good character when you're not in your underwear, and I don't think of you as sexually. Good job, Sigourney Weaver.
Doesn't work here as Ripley the bikini model. It just doesn't work.
Because she's not a goddamn bikini model.
Right.
Right, but they sexualize her, and then they put her in a completely unflattering David Bowie outfit.
It's David Bowie-esque, yeah, I like that.
I with the weird puffy arm pieces. Mm-hmm. And, you know, they're trying to do that hint of cleavage thing, but the costume doesn't do that. Because on some shots, she's got like a tank top underneath it, so you don't see anything. And then in other shots, there's no tank top, and they're like, look at the scar on her boobies.
Yeah. All right. So they're keeping her around. I like this, and it's not plot relevant, because she's like relearning who she is and what life is, and so they're taking her through like, what's a picture of this? And she's like, my father's disappointment. What's a picture of this? My father's disappointment. God damn it, it's Rorschach test. She's having to relearn everything, and one point she attacks a dock, like she busts through her chains and then grabs this guy, and this is the first shot of somebody making the same face that repeats in this film, where he's like, ooh.
Yeah, this guy was a fucktard.
Ooh.
I was kind of hoping that she was gonna fucking kill this guy right then and there.
But then a security guard comes in and shoots her in the side of the head with a taser. Like point blank. Yeah. He's got a laser gun and shoots her in the side of the head.
And the way she hits the ground and looks at the camera, or like looks towards the camera, and the face she makes is like, this has happened a few times before.
Mm-hmm. Don't tase me, bro. So then Dan Hedaya, we get introduced to him. He's like the general of this whole thing, even though it's not really, it's like a loose military operation, I guess. I don't know who's in charge of anything here. He's
Dan Hedaya's character. I imagine him as being like, he fucked up bad, not as bad as Benjamin Sisko. Or he fucked up worse than Benjamin Sisko, and that's where he's at. Like we see him polishing his boots later. He's a military man. He's also a guy that's been around because he's obviously friends with Wincott's character, and he's fucked up one too many times, and now he's running this shit show.
I think that's a perfect analysis. I like it a lot because his character is outlandish, but B, just Dan Hedaya in a horror movie is the farthest thing I would ever like. It's water and oil. They don't mix.
Well, it's the eyebrows. Fucks him up every time.
They were like, can we get Arlie Ermy?
Right.
Yes. But we got Dan Hedaya instead. But it's okay. He's pulling it off. He can do anything. He's Dan Hedaya. He's on the phone in the corner like, I'm not arguing that with you, Harry.
I knew you were going to do it.
I know he can get the job. But can
he do the job?
Can he do the job? Harry, I'm not arguing that with you.
I knew it. All right, so he doesn't like her. He's like, what is she doing here? Why do we have this super strength Ripley person that I guess is Brad Dourif's bang maid? And we've got over here our real treasure, the queen. And she's all fully grown, and he's like, yeah, I like the queen. Then in comes a commercial freighter filled with Michael Wincott and Ron Perlman and
Ron Perlman.
Winona Ryder.
He's so hot.
Okay, let's circle back to that. I'd like to finish my thought. I don't know if I can now. What?
Yeah. Okay. Nope. You got this whole bus stop. Go now, Jackie, on the hot Perlman.
What?
Oh my God! I think that Ron Perlman is one of the sexiest dudes alive.
That is really, really out there.
And the older he gets, the more sexy he gets to me.
Is
and
it
I'm
just
like,
because he's Ron Perlman, or because he actually is good looking in your eyes?
I think he's good looking.
He is not.
And like the characters and shit that he plays, it's like, yeah. I mean, I follow him for his nasty shit that he says on like Twitter about like Donald Trump and shit. I love that man.
Yeah, Perlman's great.
I would sniff his underwear.
That's really strange. I bet you Ron Perlman has some really gross smelling underwear.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. Never mind, I take that back. Okay. But I would try to hug him in public.
Of course.
So
if I saw him.
I would also hug Ron Perlman. He's a human treasure.
I mean, I would be respectful, Sam.
Okay. Respectful when you're sniffing his underwear?
No, when I'm trying to get the hug, I'd be like, may I hug you? I would do it consensually. I wouldn't just jump down from the second story of a building and be like, ah!
Ninja hug.
Yeah, I think that you have the best intentions for your creepy Perlman hug, but you are going to creep him the fuck out if you ever meet him.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He's going to be like, are you that fucking weirdo?
Underwear smeller?
Underwear smeller on the podcast?
Also, you think I'm good looking?
He'd probably totally Perlman out, like, in that moment, and he's like, oh, this is weird. People do this shit to, like, Brad Pitt. Hey, thanks. I'm Ron Perlman. Also, you're creepy as shit, lady. I like you.
And be like, yeah, you want to be best friends?
Okay, so the Betty is what this commercial's freighter's name is. The Betty.
Yeah.
So dumb. It's not like
it's not a commercial freighter. This is a fucking pirate ship.
It is a pirate ship. You're absolutely right.
Which
movie tells us it's a commercial freighter, but that is not their jobs.
Which really looks a lot like the new Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy ship.
What is that called? Star-Lord's ship.
Yeah.
I can't tell you.
It is actually called something.
It has a name.
Yes.
I don't know what it is, but the two ships look kind of similar.
Yeah, kind of. Joss Whedon had nothing to do with Guardians, though, so I can't draw a connection there.
Well, there's concept art that they stole from comic books. That was another thing I read about.
Yeah,
so like,
true.
there's a lot of recycled shit in here.
Yeah,
I want to, before we get any further, because we've seen Winona Ryder so far, and Jackie got to be creepy about Ron Perlman, so I'm going to be creepy about Winona Ryder more so than when I sang to her earlier. I hate this movie also because it makes her imperfect. Because I was always like, Winona Ryder is the most perfect thing ever in human form. her haircut reveals that she has Kenny Loggins ears.
Oh, she has Kenny Loggins ears, huh?
Yeah.
I didn't
And I'm
notice
like,
that.
you're not perfect, Winona. What? You're still perfect enough for me, and you're way out of my league. Have you seen her husband? Yeah, he's like way better looking than me. Like way better looking.
But would you sniff
because
her
she's fucking Winona Ryder, right?
No, I wouldn't sniff anybody's underwear because that's not
I
a
sniff
sexual...
your underwear like once a week.
That's... I don't want to be here anymore.
Just kidding. I don't.
What would I do if I met Winona Ryder? If I saw her, like, would I approach her? No, I would just be like, there she is. And then I would sob quietly to myself in the corner. And then she'd be like, do you need help? And I'm like, oh, don't talk to me. You're making it worse. My shame.
You remember, this was about the time of the shoplifting, wasn't it? Like, where we lost Winona for a few years because she was the hottest ticket. And then she stole some clothes and everybody threw her under the bus. I mean, this is 1990, late 90s. We were pretty awful to celebrity women back then. You know, like just leading up to even the Britney Spears crap. Like,
yeah,
the media was terrible to women. She stole some clothes because she had a mental need to spice up her life. She had to do something wrong. And yeah, she should have been arrested and put in jail like she did. But like the media was like, hang her, chop her head off.
I'm sure that once she got caught that she was like, look, let me just write you a check. I was just trying to spice up my life. Can you just keep this quiet?
Really bored.
And then everybody's like, no, you're a...
Yeah, the Fox News is like, let's pin her to the freaking cross. Wait, no, that's like Jesus.
Feel like ex post facto, she's also sort of admitted that she knew what was going to go down and she just wanted to not be. Because there's another thing about Winona Ryder maybe that gives me such a hankering for her is that whenever you really like, she's kind of a normal person that doesn't want to be in the spotlight as much. Like she did this movie so that she could brag to her younger brothers about being in an alien movie. She didn't read the script. She didn't care. She's like, fuckers, I was in an alien movie. That's like something a normal person would do. Like, I don't care. I just want to be in an alien movie.
Right.
That sounds awesome.
My dream job is to be a zombie in a Bruce Campbell movie.
Yeah. And when she gets there and they're like, we have to do this long underwater scene, she's like, oh, fuck, and has a massive panic attack because she almost drowned when she was 12.
Oh, really?
My God.
Yeah. So she had a fucking massive anxiety meltdown. And they almost killed Perlman during that scene, too. Perlman almost drowned. He hit his head and fell in the water and they had to rescue him. So the whole water scene was a complete fucking debacle. Everything about this movie is a complete fucking debacle.
Did they call oh boy, now I'm blank. Rennie Harlan, did they call him for filmmaking advice? Water safety advice?
Water safety advice from Rennie Harlan.
We almost,
make sure the camera's on. That's Rennie's advice.
Yeah. When that camera eats Tom Jane, or that shark. Cameras don't eat Tom Jane. Tom Jane eats a camera.
Right now, if Rennie's listening, he's like, wait, I think I can make a camera eat Tom Jane.
Okay, God damn it. We are only like 5 notes in. Yeah. And this movie is not helping us at all.
There's a lot of bullshit that doesn't matter.
When Perlman comes out, though, I do want to talk about his reveal where he's pretending to be a chimpanzee and throwing knives into the legs of a handicapped person. It is electric.
It is.
Such an asshole. And I was like, I love you so much more now.
This is probably the... Like, if there is an amp for Perlman, this is Perlman at 11, I think.
Yeah.
This is the most Perlman you can get.
He was definitely like, eat cake. Or sniff cake.
Yeah. He was calling them poor people?
Yeah.
Why?
Because he was handicapped. He didn't care. He's a dick.
That doesn't make any sense. You just wanted to say cake sniffer.
I did. I'm sorry.
When you see, the thing about jokes is that they should be relevant and also told in a consistent and continuous manner so that they make sense to people who aren't living inside your bat brain.
Cake sniffers.
Okay. All right. So the Betty docks up and Michael Wincott comes out and he's like, hey, I should be in this movie more. Also, Michael Wincott, like the difference, like him and Robert Patrick. Like, what the fuck, Hollywood?
We needed more. And actually, Wincott still looks... He's aged like goddamn wine, so somebody just fucking pull the trigger on Michael Wincott doing this, but not getting killed indignantly too fast. Being this character, only badass and not dying I would watch that show. I'd watch that show every week.
I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, like
these decisions ever.
The only other thing I can think that he was in was Robin Hood.
No, Wincott was in a few other stinkers.
He's very good as the bad guy in The Crow. It's maybe one of the reasons why I like that movie is that Wincott is in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he needs to be in more shit. He's cool.
Yeah, Michael Wincott's really awesome.
And he's got a very unique voice.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it just kind of adds to everything.
Like, push Stephen Dorff down and put Michael Wincott as Blade's nemesis, and you might actually we can't kill whatever Stephen Dorff's character's name in this movie.
Yeah.
We got to have him around for all 3 sequels. I mean, Michael Wincott, damn it.
Or in the Blade series, Wincott would be like the vampire that doesn't like vampires, so Blade won't kill him, but they're not really friends, but he's so awesome.
Maybe.
The Wincott is too...
Yeah.
Wincott might be too awesome for the Blade series.
That's
be. The size of that, yeah.
So him and Dan Hedaya, they talk over some lemons. Interesting set design choice. Dan Hedaya's celebratory. Like, do you want to drink, Michael Wincott? Yeah, I'll take some of your space scotch. Well, all right. I'll set that up for you. Don't mind me. I'm just gonna have some lemons while you drink it, though.
He's just drinking too. He just cleans his palate. He likes lemons.
Lemons. Yeah. Just eating a lemon like an orange.
It was very weird.
My brother can do that. He likes lemons that much too. It's weird.
Okay, it's weird. So then the crew. God damn it. Michael Wincott's like, all right, the point of this conversation is to say, hey, can we hang out for a couple days so that this movie can happen? Because this is not how pirates work. They're not like, okay, we brought you your cargo that you paid us for. Now can we live on your science ship for a couple days as opposed to our own ship where our beds and stuff is?
No, that's not what happens here at all. What happens here, this is actually a scene that I like and almost could work if it wasn't oddly, there was a little bit of grotesque sexuality in here when they talk about how much they want to fuck Winona Ryder. Mm-hmm. And that's like, oh, wow. Minus that, this is a great scene because you're like, ex post facto, after you know what happens, you're like, he knows how bad this project is, and he's done something completely horrible for cash and cash alone. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I kind of got you here. We're sort of friends, and I've kind of got you by the balls here because what you just paid me to do, no one could ever find out about. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna just kind of hang out here for 2 days, and my guys are going to take anything they think that they find useful off this ship.
Oh, so they're salvaging.
Yeah, they say that they need parts for their ship, that their ship is in need of repair, and so they're going to...
I thought they were just wanting to chill out, like space vacay.
No, they're trying to steal supplies so they can fix their ship.
All right, dirty scavers.
Yeah, that's the negotiation. That's why I really, other than I want to fuck Winona Ryder. Duh, everybody does. You don't need to say that.
It's implied. It's
implied when she walks out and you're like,
science!
Science in my pants. It's a good negotiation scene. And he's like, I'm just going to pilfer your vessel, please. And he's like, fucking go to town.
Okay. All right. That makes a little bit more sense. But either way, it is still relevant so that the movie can actually happen.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, it doesn't. They're just like, well, see ya. No movie. So their whole deal, what they were tasked to do by Dan Hedaya is go hijack another ship that's out floating around, steal the crew from it, bring them to Dan, an unconscious frozen popsicle state.
Yeah, they hijacked a cryo freighter full of people and have sold them to Dan Hedaya's character
undeclared purposes.
For cash and whatever Michael Wincott character wants off his ship. Like, it's such a bad situation that these pirates get the run of the yard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But what these people are is they're xenomorph guinea pigs. Brad Reef, I guess, needs like straight up legit xenomorphs to make his hybrid, which doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense saving it for the end.
Xenomorphs at all. You need the queen, and you already have the queen. That's it. That's all you need.
It's going to get worse, so let's just keep going.
Okay, all right.
I know, and the thing is that they don't even show the xenomorph thing jumping on anybody's face. They just show that one guy freaking out.
Yeah, no face huggers. So the crew, they go to chill out and they find Ripley on the basketball court. At some point in time, Ripley developed a love of the round ball.
She got the round ball. So Sigourney Weaver did 6 weeks of basketball training and still double dribbles in the only fucking shot where she's playing basketball. And I'll never get over it. It sucks.
Oh man.
This is an affront to basketball. When she double dribbles to dunk, you're like, and then turns around and you're supposed to be like, oh, how awesome and hot is she? And I'm like, she doesn't need to dunk it, and she just fucking double dribbled. She's terrible at basketball. Apparently, she held up the production of this for quite a while because she's like, I can make it. I can make the shot. And they're like, no, just throw it up. Somebody will catch it, throw another one through. And she's like, I can do it. And on the point where apparently they came to an agreement, and the director's like, yeah, fine. And he's about to pull the plug, and she makes it. And later we'll describe it as the only 2 moments in her life better than making that basket were getting married and having birth of her children.
Wait, shooting a basket backwards,
making the backwards shot
after a bunch of attempts
after
and
a billion
missing
tries and almost holding up the whole goddamn movie
is top 3
in her life.
I don't know, dude. If I could do a
Didn't she
one-handed...
win a goddamn Academy Award?
I don't know.
For Gorillas in the Mist?
Who
She won
cares?
a goddamn Academy Award, and she's like, after 1,000 tries, I made a basket backwards, granny style.
No, she did it one-handed and awesome looking.
Cool, bro.
It worked on Jackie, apparently.
I thought it was fucking badass. And now that I know that she tried really, really hard to get that shot.
Every single person did that in high school.
I have never done that.
It's the PE teacher doesn't want to actually teach today. Everybody grab a basketball and do something stupid with it. Yeah. That's the first thing everybody does. Is try to shoot that shot.
How far away can you make the backwards shot? I feel like at one point, after 657,000 tries, I made a half-court backwards shot.
Right? Was it the third best day of your life, Sam?
No, the pizza I had after it was actually better.
Exactly.
But she kind of has a point. She's like, yeah, you made a half-court basket. Did you do it in an alien movie? I'm like, no, I guess you're right.
She's like, well, then fuck you.
Well, no, I guess not. No. All right, so things escalate pretty quickly downstairs at the basketball court. She's like toying with Ron Perlman, and he's like, how about we dick up? And she's like, oh yeah, well, maybe I'm playing basketball or maybe I'm not. Which is it? And then somebody she smashes his balls with the basketball.
Yeah.
And then Christy, the other guy, picks up a freaking barbell and punches her in the face with it.
Yeah, these guys are assholes. They never get to the level of I want to punch you in the face that the whole military crew of Alien 2 does in their opening shot, but they're like trying to get there. And they all manage to be too likable, however, to hate, even though this scene blows with how stupid they are. But
she's also a total Marine from Alien 2. Like, she spent way too much time with Vasquez, and apparently it's trickled into her DNA. God, what a piece of shit Vasquez was.
Yeah,
and all even Billy Paxton. She's got a little Billy Paxton in her.
Yeah, there's some hang down going on here. They're all flopping their cocks around. Look at mine, look at mine, look at mine. And then the alien's like, look at mine. And they're like, put that away.
Scrub it. All right, so she does bleed a little bit through her nose, and it's revealed that her blood is acidic. So that's where her superpowers to play basketball come from, because the xenomorphs are also big Lakers fans.
Yeah, but the average viewers with me, they're like, her superpowers are being mostly shitty at basketball.
And then nothing happens for the longest time in this film. This black hole, this void of content where they just basically hang out for a couple days. And you're like, is the movie going to start? And it just never does.
Well, the next thing about the movie is that Winona Ryder's character is trying to assist Sigourney Weaver in a death.
Like a
She breaks into
doctor
her
assisted.
Yeah, she breaks into the thing. She's like, I can make this all in for you. And she's like, what makes you think you can? And then she puts her hand through the knife, and I'm like, that is so badass.
Yep.
Was it?
Yeah.
No. I thought it was stupid. It was like pointless. It was like, we're having a discussion. Oh, hey, you're holding a knife. Look what I can do.
Can you do this? Can you do this?
Right.
Yeah, no, I can't. Actually, I can. You'll find out later I'm a robot. I'm not that impressed right now. And then at the same time, because there's like general space malaise happening and we're just seeing people being bored and fucking with things in space, Brad Dourif's trying to science all over a xenomorph's face. He wants to make out with the alien.
The kissy faces.
He sucks on the glass like they're making out.
He puts his titties on the glass.
Oh.
He is like, check these knockers out. Xenomorph, and the xenomorph's like biting at the glass. He's like, it's so stupid. I mean, it's incredibly stupid.
Well, that's when they decide to escape. They're like,
no, that's not when they decide to escape.
No. This is when they're like, all right, Steve, we got to make a plan.
Oh,
what do you mean, George?
He's had enough.
Okay.
He's mad as hell and he's not going to take it anymore.
Yeah. Frank, he's not really part of our crew, but we got to do something. This guy's going to try to rape us if we don't get out of here. So this is when they try to make, they start to make their plan.
So this is like tapping on the glass at a gorilla exhibit.
Yeah.
Like, don't do that. They'll want to escape. If you just leave them alone, it will be fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
But now they're scared for, they're going to get raped by this weirdo.
You ever go to the zoo and you see the kid that's tapping on the glass and his dad looks kind of like a D-bag, and the kid, he's a little shit. He's a little brat and nobody stops the kid. Do you ever kind of hope that the gorilla gets out?
Every time, my friend.
Every time. Have I told the stupid duck story on the podcast yet at Lake Lowell? There's like this kid who's being a total shithead, and you're like, oh God, that kid's a shithead, and his dad's there, and he's like, hey Dad, what kind of duck is that? And it's a goose. And his dad goes, them are stupid ducks. And then they start both throwing rocks at the geese. And I'm like, fuck humanity.
Please tell me that the geese retaliated.
They just left because they're like, not worth it. The geese were like, not worth it. I will totally fuck you up, though.
The geese rebellion of 2012.
One of our friends in high school got mobbed by geese. Remember when Larrabee got attacked by the geese at the park?
He did. He got his ass kicked by geese.
Yeah, the university I work for actually tells students, you need to stay at least 6 feet away from the geese. They're not nice.
No.
They're big.
All right, geese versus xenomorph. Who wins in a knife fight?
The geese is winning.
Because xenomorphs can like infect the geese and become like, could you imagine a goose xenomorph? Like
hybrid?
That's a fucking total dickhead.
Oh man.
Right there.
That guy's just spitting acid in your face because you were walking down the street and he didn't like the look of you.
I think that's a great movie, Sam. You should do that.
Alien Goose Resurrection.
Yeah. Goose Resurrection. All right. So she's like, hey, you want me to stab you? And Ripley's like, nah, I'm cool. And so she's like, all right, peace, babe. And goes outside and immediately is busted by the security staff of Science Vessel. And they take her down to the mess hall where the rest of the crew's at. And they're like, hey, did you guys know this is a terrorist? She tried to kill us in the xenomorphs and stop science. And they're like, nope, didn't know that, but we're going to kill all you guys.
Yeah, this is where the character Dr. Mason, played by J.E. Freeman, has gone off. He's really big dicking it more than he should.
Yeah.
He doesn't know who he's dealing with here. Like the people that a general has said, yeah, go ahead and pilfer my vessel because I've been friends with you a long time, and if I know that I know that if I say no to this right now, you're just gonna fucking kill all of us and take our shit anyway. So please help yourself.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, you guys are in trouble. And they're like, do you know who you're fucking dealing with, sir?
And then insanity happens. This is Punisher Warzone levels of stupid action.
It was awesome.
It's pretty stupid awesome.
Especially like that Ron Perlman's thermos turns into a gun cannon type thing. And then the last guy that they kill, they ricochet it off the ceiling and it goes into his helmet.
So stupid. That's what Christie's power is he's Bullseye from Marvel Comics. He just never misses and like can path trajectories of bullets and he ricochets it. Like, it's so dumb. Computing.
I also like the look on his face when he's shooting.
Oh my God. He's got the same dumb look. Everybody has this look in the movie, like, their eyes are all big.
I'm shooting people.
It's so weird. All right, so they shoot up everybody in the mess hall, and it's now 35 minutes into the film, and the film has finally started.
Finally.
God damn it. The xenomorphs that are in the cage have said, bark, 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 xenomorph talk. You actually see them talking to each other, and they're like, let's take advantage of the chaos that's happening in the mess hall that we know about because we're clearly watching the security feed in our prison cell.
No, this is the point where they're like, George and Harry are like, all right, it's time. This guy looks kind of horny, like more than usual today. He's gonna science on us.
He's very sciencey.
We need to do this. And then Frank's like, what are you guys talking about? And they fucking stab him.
Yeah. This is where even the aliens are stupid because he's like, guys, you could have just bit my arm off.
Or, yeah.
No, die, Frank. You're such a piece of shit. I hate being in here
guys.
with you.
What you up to? What are we doing today? You guys want to play cards again?
They say that they have 12 of these things. And they're all like, they're cramming 3 of them into a little box. Like, you know that one of them is going to get offed at one point because, 2 of them are always going to be like, all right, that guy, he has to go.
Yeah, so they stab Frank to death, which causes his oil or his acetic blood to then melt the prison that they are in. The scientists were like, well, let's take all of their freedom away. And the only way that they could possibly escape is to use the one thing that they're made out of.
Let's put more than one of these things in a crate.
Yep.
That sounds like a good plan.
Fine, George and Harry, they're out of there.
But
do that.
It's just going to get worse.
Make the prison out of not acetic materials. Lace it, spray it with an alkaline. Guess what? The acetic is neutralized. Don't make it so that it melts when accidents happen. One could trip, bonk his face into a wall. Hey, the xenomorphs are out. Oopsie. Don't make that's like making Magneto's prison cell out of iron.
Yeah.
One bonks his head.
Things happen.
He trips.
Whoa.
Oh shit.
Whoops and AC.
Maybe that's how Harry and George figured it out. They were like, George trips one day and he's like, hey, guess what? There's a little hole over there where I fell.
I mean,
where my toenail got caught in the crate.
God damn it.
Did we figure out how to make an acid-proof crate now? Fuck that part. We'll just stick them all in there. Fuck it.
We're scientists and we don't understand basic chemistry.
Yeah. How'd that project come with the sealed containers for the aliens? I was too busy getting science all over my keyboard.
Yep. Oh boy.
We should also mention that he freezes the aliens too.
Oh yeah, well to
make them behave.
Yeah, they I guess that's what's happening in that his magic button. Anyways, he goes in there. He's like, oh no, they're loose, and then they pull Brad Dourif in, and oh Brad Dourif, I guess you're dead. Nope, you're not.
They're like, you're not gonna rape us.
Yeah, you're too sciencey. The alarm sound. This guy, one of the security guys, goes in there to look around, and then the alien comes out on the other side of the cage, and he's like, gotcha, bitch. And he hits the button. The cryo button, and freezes that guy. He's like,
vengeance.
And the alien was smiling the whole time. Like, eat shit, motherfucker.
He's like, revenge is a dish best served cold. That's what he did say, but you couldn't understand it because he speaks xenomorph, but that was his one-liner.
I loved this part.
Revenge is best served cold. That's yeah.
It's chilly. Yeah, the guy, like, he tries to move and his arm comes off, and then he just gets frozen. And the xenomorph is like, booyah. Okay. Meanwhile, not plot relevant. Oh yeah, it is plot relevant. Freeze, the guy in the wheelchair, he's cruising around looking for parts, I guess, and he sees one of the xenomorphs climbing around above him. And so, like, the whole setup of this movie really is like showing that these guys have guns all over them.
Yeah.
Because now he has turned his wheelchair into a shotgun. And so he pops a couple rounds off and hits the xenomorph that's above him, and it trips down onto his leg, but he doesn't feel it, and then it hits his ear, and that really never goes anywhere. Like, you thought something was going to happen there, and it just doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, according to the movie facts, his ear should have just kind of fucking fallen off.
Right. So the military's evacing. They at least do that right. Like, get out of here. But then that doesn't make sense because the ship also has, like, if something bad happens, the standard operating procedures are evacuate the ship that is headed back to Earth. Why are we where are we evacuating to?
Yeah, we got to save it because the full cycle of their plan and their backup plan is going to be a major question here.
All right. Then Dan is making his way to his escape pod, and he sees that a xenomorph has climbed into the escape pod and butchered all the men's that are in there. So he chucks a grenade into it, and it fish bowls down into the thing, and but it's also a triggered release one, and it flies away, and he's like, "Die, bitch!" And boom, blows up that xenomorph. But then a xenomorph drops down behind him, and he gets Dan a face. Xenomorph punches out the back of his brain, and he gets then, oh no face.
Yep. Oh. He pulls out some of his brain, and he's like, Harry, I gotta call you back. I'm looking at a piece of my own brain.
Oh, it's my brains. Oh, God, it's so stupid.
I loved it because that's hilarious. I would totally do that if I knew I wasn't going to survive. I'm like, I'm looking at it. I'm doing it. Fuck that shit.
That's not the expression he has on his face. It's not one of curiosity. It's whoopsie. My brains.
Is that George?
George, my brains?
George the xenomorph.
Oh, okay. He's on first name basis with them too, huh?
Yeah, well, they named them all, because they say that they're going to be like pets eventually. And that they'll behave and they can sit and roll over and all that shit.
I think he was being facetious when he was talking about that.
Oh, okay then. Well, maybe they didn't name him then.
Okay. Well, meanwhile, on the other side of the ship, Michael Wincott has got it. Why? Are you kidding me? The guy was perfect for being like an action hero at the end of this.
Yeah. This is where I'm at the theater watching this. I'm one of the problems where this made $161 million, and I'm like, this is it. It's going to happen. Michael Wincott is going to fucking shoot his way out of this shit. Because this is where, like, if Dan Hedaya if it isn't completely stupid, which is impossible, right?
Right.
But the movie that they sell you to is that you're going to have these space pirates fuck the aliens up.
That would have been fun.
Yeah. You have all the parts you need for it. You've got enough people on the ship, a crew of 42. You've got enough to really have these aliens become a giant infestation, and this crew of space pirates shoot their way fucking out.
You make an interesting
people
point.
Will always go. Reeser told me this. He said, well, you can't do stuff like that. You have to make it more like, it's the excuse all the time. Well, you can't make it reduces to, you can't make an awesome movie because that would be dangerous. You have to make a stupid movie because that would be easy.
Right. And it doesn't ruin the bad guy. I mean, I don't know. Like, every movie wants to be alien. Honestly, if you go to even to Predator, that's what happens in Predator. The Predator's too awesome. You can't kill it. Except for that's not what happens in the Predator. Freaking Arnold Schwarzenegger kills it because Arnold Schwarzenegger is awesome. It's okay for the humans to be more awesome than the monster, including like they don't do that with, well, you can't do it with Freddy because he lives inside your dreams. He's too powerful. But you can do it with Jason. You can have somebody kick Jason's ass. Like, it's okay. It's okay, guys.
To the first Alien. It's a very dangerous monster when its only adversaries are truckers with common tools.
Mm-hmm.
You go to Alien 2 and you've got Marines trained for killing aliens, and the only reason the aliens win is because everybody on that crew of space killing aliens is a bunch of idiots.
Mm-hmm.
The only way to make these movies with guns and people with guns, more like the first Alien, is for those people to be fucking retards and incompetent.
Yep.
They're not that fucking dangerous
They're
when
really not.
you have these massively dangerous, unscrupulous fucking space pirates that would shoot their fucking way out of there.
Okay. So yeah, Michael Wincott's dead. The crew find him, and then the xenomorph drops down, and then the xenomorph is like, "Oh, I can smell your tummy that I punched a hole in," when out comes a gun and blasts it in the face. It's Michael Wincott's tummy gun. You didn't know he had that power. No, it's not. It's Sigourney Weaver underneath the crate.
And she's like, "Sorry about your awesome captain who would shoot his way out of this situation. You've got sexy basketball me instead." And I'm like, "Fuck this movie!"
And then she
I
says
paid
it.
full price for this at the goddamn theater.
She says it after everybody has a big dick off right here about how the heck do we get out of here. She's like, "Who the fuck do I have to fuck to get the fuck off of this fucking ship? Fuck."
And Ron Perlman goes, "Me." And she's like, "Cool. Later we will fuck each other. We've been dancing around a little bit too long. Once this is cleaned up, you and I are gonna screw."
Hello. Can you get me off the ship? Nope. Well, we can,
Why couldn't the guy with the guns, the ones that had it strapped around his arms,
Christy,
the shooter guy, why couldn't he be the one that was pulled into the grate? He
Right.
wasn't that charismatic, and it would have been like, "Oh no, that guy is dead."
Oh,
Big fucking deal.
Christy, yeah.
And maybe
Yeah.
he could have shot his way, through the alien that drug him down. That would have been a much better scene.
Yeah, all right. So the whole team is now making their way to the Betty. Ripley she takes a side quest and finds the Ripley room, where inside are,
Can you believe it or not?
6 test tubes of Ripley xenomorph mashups from in various stages of development, I guess it was. And then she finds an abomination on a table, and the abomination is like, "Kill me." She's like, "Okay, flamethrower."
Yeah, how dick is
The
that?
abomination is like, "No."
Yeah.
I was thinking
I
bullet.
My note was, I should have said "kill me" less painfully and be more specific. Sorry, me.
Kill me, not with fire.
Jesus.
I mean, like, this thing has already had a horrid existence, and then we're gonna kill it with fire. I mean, how dick is that?
It's really dick.
And the fact that Winona Ryder's character is like, "Here's a flamethrower," not like, "Here's a gun."
Right, here's my sidearm.
Here's the flamethrower. Just burninate.
Or do the pillow thing. No, just fucking light its ass on fire.
I'm not touching that.
Oh, that's
Christy-
better. Thank you.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So she burns up the whole place. Now, so the arugula is on a direct course to Earth.
Yeah,
And in
plan
the
B.
next shot, we see it passing Jupiter. And they say, we've only got 3 hours to get to Earth. I did some math here. If they're 3 hours away from Earth and they're just passing Jupiter, Jupiter is 529 million miles away from Earth. They are traveling at a speed of 176 miles per hour. Note that for later.
Okay.
Wait, what? 176 miles per hour?
It's 176 million miles per hour.
Okay, there you go. We know that this is not intergalactic, but this is intersystem travel. These are in 200 years ago in this movie world. There's already movement from star system to star system, and there's charted space. And this is supposed to start outside of charted space because of what they're doing. That thing goes like 100 million times faster than the speed of light.
No, I crunched the math on that. Speed of light is 186 million miles per second.
But it started outside of charted space, and they go from from star system to star system. This thing is light years and light years and light years away.
Moving
when the movie starts. Like
is she fast? Ha! This thing did the Kessel Run in negative 12 seconds. and it's a science vessel.
Is she fast? Ha! This did the Kessel run in 12 parsnips. Parsnips aplenty.
Sage, rosemary, and thyme. So they find a guinea pig in this room, and he's like, "Hey guys, what's up? I just woke up. Where am I? Is this Vegas? I was supposed to be going to Vegas.
He says he's part of a mining expedition.
Spring break. Did we make it?" And they're like, "Oh, bad news, buddy.
We used all the condoms that were in your bag.
Yeah, for science. And you have a monster living in your belly now." And he's like, "So I did make it to Vegas. Nice."
Yeah, this is the return trip, buddy.
Yeah.
All right, and they're like, "Okay, so yeah, whatever. He's got a xenomorph living inside his tummy. It's fine. Hey, bud, come with us."
Yeah, they're going to freeze him when they get back to the ship, and he won't be a danger, and then the doctor can remove it when they get back.
Even though Winona Ryder's character was sent on a mission to destroy all the xenomorphs, including one living inside of another human being. But suddenly she's like, "This guy seems cool."
Yeah, no, she starts out her character like, these things are too dangerous. If I have to blow up the ship, I'm going to blow up the ship. This guy shows up and she's like, "No, we can save him. We can't, but yeah, let's not kill him, I guess."
Let's not kill him, even though I was about to kill Ripley. Had no problems with that. Okay, so now they have to ditch Varys's chair, and he then gets C-3PO'd to the back of Christie. And it looks stupid. And what's the point? Why? He just had... This whole scene doesn't need to exist at all. And it has plot holes.
Because it's more dignified than having him crawl across the floor to
well, no,
the
because
water
they have to
scene.
swim. They have to swim. But that doesn't work either, because then later he's using his arms to climb up a ladder. It just does... Yeah, just let him stay in the chair, guys.
Has anybody ever shut the gravity down in an alien movie?
No.
Let's see, like, nobody ever was like, "We've got a lot of guns, we're space pirates. Let's see how these guys do in 0G. We're going to be able to move a lot faster. Let's see if they know how to do it."
Like with
We're
magnetic
space
boots
pirates.
and stuff? They
I'm
have
never
to
going to
have
get over
magnetic
it.
boots.
These space pirates fuck up the aliens. They fucking shut the gravity down.
Uh-huh.
They fuck shit up. They get out of there pretty fast. They take some cool shit on their way out, and that motherfucking whole ship gets blown up, and it's awesome, and they didn't make that movie.
Just a floating xenomorph being like, "Hey, well, I don't know what to do." That would be funny.
Even if it figures it out because they're such a cat-like predator, you've given yourself advantage by shutting down the gravity.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that doesn't happen. Okay, so now they're climbing through the water, and there's two xenomorphs in there. They're flipping around like sharks. And they're coming in, and Johnner, Perlman's character, he's suddenly got a RPG, a grenade launcher, and shoots one of them. And the one like sees it coming because it's moving at the speed of about a shoe, and it's like doesn't even matrix out of the way. It's just like, "Excuse me, Mr. Bullet," and the next one's like, "Oh no!"
This is Harry and George again.
It might be.
And George has always been the mastermind behind this whole plan. And he's like, "We can't let these fuckers get away." And Harry's like, "Yeah." So Harry's following him, and George is like, "Sorry, Harry. Woo, eat shit."
Oh, no.
Harry's like, "Oh, you son of a... ah!"
And then that grenade explodes in water, and they all have been
They all
liquefied.
die.
Yeah, their brains are jelly.
They were underwater for like way longer than clam
forever.
divers can hold their breath.
Ever they were underwater.
They all died.
And the weird, like, shot of Sigourney Weaver where she's just kind of one bubbling out of her nose, and she's, like, looking at the beast like, "I am one of you. I am observing you." And then she's like, "Maybe I should get the fuck out of here now that George is a lone shark."
Well, George gets the butt lady from Michael Wincott's cabin.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what her character's name is or anything. She didn't even really have any lines. Her just butt was in this movie.
Yeah, apparently her character's name is Sabra Hillard. And her real name is Kim Flowers.
Okay, all right.
Better known as weird foot massage.
No one likes him that much.
No, not to be like, oh, Michael Wincott, give me a foot massage.
Yeah, it's not like do me, baby.
Yeah. Gucci.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, I've had such a hard day. My feet feel so much better. Thank you so much.
Yeah, rub my feet and then never touch me again. So they bust up into the egg room. The queen's, it's not the nest because the nest comes in later, but this is just like the queen's side egg room. Because we all know one thing about the queen in alien movies, they can just walk around. They can just go wherever.
Yeah.
Right? They're not attached to anything that prevents them from moving, are they?
Well,
wait, yes they are. They can't walk around. They're attached to the freaking egg pouch that they spit out. It happens in Alien 2, where it like literally has to break itself away from its attach. It gives itself a hysterectomy in order to kill Ripley. That does not happen here. The queen cannot just move about the cabin.
Nope.
But it's got a spare egg room.
Maybe Harry and George helped her, expand a little bit.
We'll just carry
these are the backup eggs.
Yeah, we'll carry these guys over here for you.
That would make more sense.
Well,
if they did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're hiding them. They're like, just in case you get blown up again.
So after Harry and George break out of their prison cell and start eating people, they're also carrying eggs around.
Yeah, they're like putting them everywhere. And when Gary is like, Steve, why did you put so many in that closet? And he's like, I thought it dressed it up pretty nice. Do you know what we're doing here? I don't think I do.
It's an Easter egg hunt, right?
All right. And so one of the face huggers comes out and jumps on Ripley, which doesn't make sense after the events that happen later in the film.
With all of the alien sense that she has with any of them and this, the facehugger shouldn't jump on her.
It wouldn't care.
Also, it makes it for more questions later.
Right?
Is she infected? I don't know. Can she be infected?
But she also pulls the facehugger off her face, which is not something you can do once the face is on.
Bites
it's part of you.
Impregnation thing off and spits it out underwater.
Yeah, I that's what I was going to say too. Like, she spit it out. She's not a swallower.
The science is out. Okay, so Christy's like, rocket launcher, I'm going to bank shot this because calculating trajectory and shoots a grenade, 2 grenades in there, which then turns into like 50 grenades because explosion after explosion happens.
It's like the one sparkle ball blows up. That's what he shot out there. But these are highly explosive eggs. Rather than what should happen with those big S grenades is it just blows the fuck out of everything. Beautiful explosion. Thank you.
Right.
All of its fire cleansed by the glorious fire. But that doesn't happen. It's all dumb looking.
It is. So they start climbing up this ladder. Ren is like, hey, this door's not working. Hand me your gun. Winona Ryder, and she's like, here you go. He's like, you're stupid, blam, and shoots her, and she falls into the water. She's dead. And then he gets into the door and shuts it and traps them in there. And they're like, no, there's a xenomorph in here, dude. Not cool, bro. And the xenomorph starts climbing up the ladder. It's like, hey, bitch, you didn't know that I could do these. And Christy is like, don't come up here. And it's like, I want to. Bleh, and spits in his face, and he gets a gross face. And he's like, well, that's it. I'm dead.
Then he can't hit shit. Perlman eventually hits this thing. And
Perlman does a reverse ladder jungle monkey bars maneuver and starts blasting bullets, exploding rounds past his friend's head at the thing that is clearly blocked by his friend's head.
Yeah, that's why he's missing so much, I think.
It is.
I bet he shoots the cripple. In reality.
Cripple. Nice stuff.
That's what he calls him, is the cripple.
Yeah, so that's Johnner is a role model for you. You want to use Johnner language here? Good stuff. Nice. Very woke.
Shut up, asswipe.
You know what's badass is when you're on a ladder is to not do a freaking child's monkey bar maneuver. It's to let go and drop down to your enemy and then fist fight your enemy, just like that guy does in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
The scientist sort of jumped about between platform to platform off the ladder.
True.
Why do none of them do this?
I don't
They're
know.
fucking space pirates.
Right.
They're like, well, we have to become immobile so that this scene has artificial suspension.
And so Ron Perlman gets a shot off and it hits the alien in the face and the alien's head blows up completely. And Christie's like, man, I'm telling you, I can't look at myself in the mirror ever again. I got gross face, guys. It's hanging on to my foot. Now, I could just kind of like shuffle a leg a little bit and have it declaw and like let go. It's dead. It's no longer a threat. I could just, like get off like a...
Yeah, it's not
like
like
a piece of toilet paper that's on my shoe. Nope, I'm done for.
yeah, it's not like Rick and Mortis is set in and this claw's never going to move again.
And also, he like cuts himself free. The alien is dead. There's no more down there. I am fine with him. Like, all right, bud, I'll see you in a second. Clip, clip, splash, climb up the ladder.
Or just reach down, flick it off. It's a booger on your shoe.
I'm fine with him detaching himself because of how hard it's going to be.
His harness to carry Vrees. Now Vrees can't walk. It's not. You got to carry Vrees.
When they're there in that situation, it's going to be easier for him to detach, fall in the water, climb back up. Vrees can climb up the ladder by himself. They'll pull him up. They put him back on his back. It's fine. It doesn't matter. He doesn't ever come back up the ladder.
He doesn't come back up the ladder. He's dead from it.
Die of sadness in this water.
He dies of unknown causes. It's nuts. It doesn't make any sense. All right, so he's dead. Okay, so at the top of the ladder, the door opens. It's a pair of boots, and it slowly pans up, and it's Winona Ryder. And she's like, "Hey guys, what's up? What I miss?" And they're like, "Oh my God, how are you still alive? Were you wearing body armor?" And she's like, "Yeah, pretty much." And Sigourney Weaver or Ripley's like, "No, I've seen this movie before. You're a damn robot."
And then she proceeds to stick her hand into the hole.
Right.
Like, thanks.
Hey, what's in there?
Squishy, squishy.
Yeah, did I consent to this penetration?
Yeah. And then one guy's like, "Oh man, I'm so excited about robots." And then the other, Perlman's like, "Fuck robots, whatever. I don't know if I'm angry or not." And no one's like, "Huh, how about that? Robots have been around in this movie universe for a while, so like this should be unsurprising."
This should be very unsurprising.
Well, then they go into the whole thing about how her generation of robots was made by robots, and then they shut down the program, and then some of them escaped, and she was one of the escapees.
Or like early adopter, like a she was at CES. She's like, come meet the robot lady at
the World's Fair
at CES. And they're like, "Well, it didn't really work out, so we gotta let you go." She's like, "But I have no place to go. I'll go to space."
They're like, "Hey, remember Blade Runner? That was way more awesome."
Way more awesome. Okay, so they're 86 minutes to Earth now, and they jack her into the mainframe because now they know that she's a robot. So that was very helpful plot wise.
She's also poopy about it. It's like, I don't want to do that. It's like, it makes me feel bad about myself when I use my robot powers.
Yeah,
and then Sigourney Weaver's like, "Fucking toughen up." God damn it.
She's like, "Don't care, pull your mole off and let's get going."
Right. And she's like, "Oh no, we can't blow up the ship. We have to crash it." Wait, what?
Where should we crash it? Where should we crash it?
Well, there's the sun over there. You want to point it at the sun?
No.
Like Superman?
No.
Like what they did in Dracula 2000?
No.
You want to do that?
No, it's been done.
Oh.
We got to crash it somewhere else.
Okay. All right. Well, where?
The
moon? You want to try to shoot for the moon? There's really not a lot there. Some concrete, I guess.
Yeah, but then people are always going to be like looking at it and thinking, "Oh, there's aliens on the moon." Do we really want to start another conspiracy theory?
Yeah.
There's like so many asteroids. Like so many asteroids.
Lots of asteroids.
Should we crash it into that?
Or is that too Armageddon-y? Like, oh, maybe we'll deflect the asteroid that we crashed into inadvertently, and that asteroid will then collide with Earth, making an extinction level event. Even though we're traveling at 176 million miles per hour at this point in time.
No.
Where should we go?
That just seems so...
Oh, wait, I got an idea.
Okay.
Des Moines.
Well, I heard it's no big loss.
Their plan is to shoot their spaceship that's going 176 million miles an hour into Earth. It'll be fine.
Because it's like a large asteroid that'll kill everyone.
Packing some jewels at that velocity.
They are the extinction level event. It's not the xenomorphs, guys. That's not the problem. It's you. God damn it. Okay. So she's like, okay, well, let's get to the Betty and we'll jettison and then we'll go land on Earth that won't exist anymore. We'll just be a cloud of ash and fire. Thanks to us. And party in Vegas, I guess. That guy will finally get that Vegas trip. All right. So they open up a path to get to the Betty. Ren's already there. And they lock him out. It's kind of funny. She's like, haha, bitch, via the computer. You can't get in. He's like, damn you. So they run to the dock. When Ripley stops and sticks her ear to the ground, she's like, Buffalo come. And get it, my joke.
Yeah, we get it.
I'll tell that at the end of the podcast. I'm not above it.
When she locks the doctor out of the security clearance for the computer, she also says, all aliens to level 1.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that would be dumber is if the aliens went to level 1. And by this point, you're like, well, you can't even fucking go all the way with that. The aliens should have gone to level 1. You've already fucked this up.
There should have been a shot where the xenomorphs are walking around in one direction. They hear that over the intercom and peek their heads up and then turn around and go the other direction.
Yeah.
That would have been so stupid, but totally would have fit inside this movie.
Yeah.
So when this scene happens, I thought she said all animals. So I was waiting for some guard dogs or something to start chasing him down the corridor. And I'm like, doesn't make a lot of sense,
also,
but okay.
She calls them aliens. And somebody else calls them aliens too. Guys, they're xenomorphs. They're not called aliens, you stupids. Fuck you. That's racist.
Wow, you're so woke.
Yeah, hey, that's right. What about those people? Our trading partners on Nebula 6. They're the same as the xenomorphs. Spock, he's a xenomorph. Dick, you guys are speciesist.
Species was a movie about aliens too.
Banging aliens.
Banging aliens. Yeah. I would put my science in that alien.
Sometimes I pretend I'm not Natasha Henstridge.
Wow, you guys have a weird thing going on over there.
Over in the rest of all of mankind.
Did you see her?
Did you see Natasha Henstridge when she was naked in that movie? Because it's whoa.
Does Justin wear the wig?
No, I don't pretend I'm not Natasha Henstridge in the same room as Sam.
Oh, okay.
He is in his own room pretending he's Natasha Henstridge. Yeah, it's not a group activity.
I don't actually pretend I'm Natasha Henstridge. I just put printouts of her on a sort of lubed up pillow. It doesn't work good, and I get paper cuts on my wiener.
Oh man, that's harsh. Well, we know what to get you for Christmas.
Natasha Henstridge?
Pussy pillow.
The pussy pillow. Oh, that's sold by
I'm sure they have
Lindell.
one. Don't search it on the internet. You'll find 10. You'll find 10.
That's why Trump's ambassador to pillows loves his pillow so much. My pillow. I love it. It's Natasha Henstridge.
Ugh.
Gross.
Let's storm the Capitol. So they run to the docks. Yeah. So it's got Sigourney Weaver, pulls her down, and she lands onto the Queen, and I'm pretty sure she sinks into the Queen's vagina.
Yeah, this is an alien unbirthing.
It kind of also looked like they were having the sex because there's an alien on top of her, and she's like, rubbing her face into it and stuff. Like, we're having an intimate moment. So
it's an unbirthing. She becomes unbirthed by the alien, but there's other aliens inside of there, and she starts slow dancing with the xenomorph.
I thought she was screwing him.
It kind of seemed like she was actually getting carried by a xenomorph to some different location, but that didn't... I have no idea what happens here, guys.
Yeah,
I'm going with unbirthing followed by slow dancing.
She doesn't have sex with him, Jackie, because that's not how this works. There is lots of sex in this movie, and some of it is with aliens, but she does not actually bang a xenomorph because they don't actually have working genitals. They are asexual.
I don't know.
It looks weird.
It looked like they were having the sex, but you're right, and I thought about that too. Like, but they don't have wieners, so
they reproduce asexually.
And so that doesn't really make any sense. So now I'm gonna have to get on Sam's bandwagon and
she
be like,
slow dances with the xenomorph.
They're slow dancing
inside of a womb.
They do not reproduce asexually. They reproduce parasitically.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, she slow dances with a xenomorph inside of a xenomorph's womb.
Would you like to be my girlfriend? I guess
slow dancing, swaying with the xenomorph.
Slow dancing, just me and my
xenomorph. Okay. So the crew reach the Betty, and they're like, all right, kick the tires and light the fires. And then Ren comes out. He's like, hey, I got your call. And he shoots the guy that has the xenomorph growing inside of his tummy. And that guy's like on the floor. And everybody's like, oh, no, he's got the death rattle. And they're having a Mexican standoff. And that guy gets up. And he like mummy walks over to Ren, who then pops him like at least 12 times. And the guy just keeps coming, which seems to me that he's dead, and the xenomorph that lives inside of his chest is using him as a human meat puppet.
It's like they're working together on this one because the alien baby and the character both hate Dr. Mason.
Hmm.
It also, like, he survives how many gunshots?
Like a lot. And just keeps coming.
Well, and the way that they show it is like he's being pulled up by his chest.
Kind of.
So the xenomorph is like, we can do this, buddy, because I'm going to survive because you're going to take all the bullets.
Right. So he's Voltron and the guy inside of him is controlling him. He's a human Voltron.
Yep.
And then I loved this scene where he's got the doctor at his chest level, and then the thing pops out, and I'm like, oh my god, yes!
It goes through right through both of them. It's hilarious. And then they shoot the xenomorph in the face.
Yeah,
I loved it.
It's really cheesy. Okay, so Ripley wakes up, and she sees Brad Dourif, and he's up there, and he's like, Science is so beautiful. I love science. Look at what I have created.
Yeah, he's the only one fucking talking, and there's like 6 or 7 other people around him, and they're all like, shut the fuck up.
Oh, God,
You've been talking nonstop since you got dragged down here, you piece of shit.
Guess what, guys? When they got me goopy, I put my arm by my wiener, so I can still play science.
I can still get to science. And he's like, oh, hey, Ripley. So here's the deal. We used your vagina to make an alien human hybrid that lives inside of that vagina. And it's coming out.
No. Your gift. So she got the gift of like powers and blah, blah, blah.
Dunking a basketball.
Yeah. And then she gave the alien the ability to have live birth. And the alien's like, fuck you. This is fucking awful.
Why would you do this to me?
And the alien's like screaming in the background, like, this is the worst fucking gift ever. I want my gift back. Let's just trade. I just want to be a parasite again. This is bullshit.
This is absolute bull. Can I get the epidural now?
And the scientist is like, no, because I'm a dick, but I'll kiss you in the face.
Also because I'm trapped in alien goop.
And this whole time, it's like, oh, great. Like, the alien has got to be thinking, this is the most raw fucking deal ever.
Yeah, it's a bad deal. It's a bad deal for the alien, for the queen. Anyways, so this hybrid pops out of its vagina, I guess. And
egg sack type thing.
It looks like an egg to me. I don't know, but it's huge. And
it's fully grown.
It's fully grown. Brad Dourif is like, look at it. It is a beautiful butterfly.
Come here, beautiful butterfly. Come here.
Come to me so I can get a good look at your lovely face.
Come on, Skeletor.
How pretty. How pretty. Oh.
Is that a penis or a clitoris? I'm confused.
Please bite my head off rather than using that thing on me.
Yeah, it literally chomps his brains out. It's just in one bite is like, Arr.
You're delicious.
Like, this is it? They're like, who is your new super alien? It's like so much more dangerous than the other aliens. And you're like, nope, but it does have gross boobs.
It does have some saggy old lady tits.
Yeah. And it kills the original alien.
Right, it kills the queen.
Because there can only be one.
Maybe, but then it walks over to Sigourney Weaver, and Brad Dourif, while he's still alive, is like, it thinks you're its mommy. Oh yeah, it doesn't think that about the thing whose vagina it just came out of? Like, less than a minute ago? It punched its mom's face off because it's like, well, you can't be my mommy. Even though I just came out of your vagina.
Don't tell me what to do.
As a fully grown adult with a penis and a vagina or a giant clitoris that doubles as a penis. The jury is out.
Just so you know, Justin, the clitoris is at the top of the vagina, not the bottom.
That's what that looked like. It looked like a clitoris that was tucked back into the vagina, like a mangina, like a Buffalo Bob.
But it's like it looks like it has a tummy, and in its tummy is a penis fucking its own vagina.
Yeah, the clitoris is at the top of the vagina, not at the bottom.
That's not what that picture clearly was, Jackie.
It looks gross as hell, is what it looks.
That is at the top.
No, dude, that's the top of the vagina right there.
Like, that's like extended top. Okay. All right. Yeah, it's probably a penis. All right. You guys might be right about this one. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good.
It's so fucking gross.
It's super gross. It's a penis living inside of a vagina. I'm sure the Japanese love it.
Even them they're like, no, we've got better stuff.
Let's go back to the tentacles.
Yeah, the tentacles are better than this.
Yeah, and they sniff underwear and they're not weird.
Oh, they aren't, huh?
Yeah. So Ron Perlman, send me your underwear at 54. No, just kidding.
at talk@stinkermadness.com. It's an attachment.
It's an attachment.
Okay, and smash that like button while you're at it. Okay, so it's mommy-less, and it goes over to Sigourney Weaver, and it's like, you're my mommy, and she's like, oh, you smell awful. Face. You smell terrible.
It licks her face. It's so gross. Like, this whole movie is just, everybody knows that I don't like goop.
Mm-hmm.
And this whole movie is just goop. And I really tried hard not to say too much about the goop in this movie, but it was so fucking gross throughout the entire thing. Starting at the beginning sequence where we have the development of whatever the fuck is happening, babies, xenomorph mixes, and it's just all goop.
You really want to go all the way back to the beginning of this movie?
No.
I think let's move forward.
It's just goop.
It's goop, and then they make it worse by using the goop to jack off sometimes with this movie.
Yeah. It's actually just all science, guys. So Ripley runs to the Betty, and she dives in at the last minute, and she's like, woo.
She jumps really far because, remember, she can dunk now. She can
dunk it. She's Clyde Drexler of space, and it starts to take off, and the Vrees guys, he's like, can't take off, the hatch is open, and everybody in the theater goes, duh. So Call goes down to check it out, and she's like, I'll fix it. And then the hybrid's down there, the newborn, and it's like, hey bud, let me give you a hand. Closes the door for you. Thanks.
Thanks.
That was pretty nice. I didn't expect that of you. I thought you were going to eat me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she runs away from it, and then it decides it does want to smash her face.
Right. Or does
but
it?
It can't,
I'm still not
so
sure.
it gets really sad.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I don't feel bad that you can't smash her face. What is going on? You were hard to look at.
I think it just wants to be your friend, but
I think it's like, I know I look scary, but I really just want to kill you quickly. Like I did with that last guy where I squeezed his fucking head so hard
that was an accident.
Was it?
It's having sex with itself as we speak, and it just wanted to hug somebody.
So are you done now so I can come out of this thing?
It wants to slow dance inside of the womb.
The process of walking causes it to fuck itself constantly.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just constantly always doing it. So it just smashes a lot of things, knocks things over.
It's accident prone. Have you seen a baby? Have you seen toddlers walk? Like
Yeah.
they don't know how to do it. They want to kill themselves.
Now just imagine an alien toddler that by the very act of moving is having sex with itself.
Mm-hmm.
That's gross.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to envision that.
Well,
That
you
is
don't have to
fucking
because this movie
disgusting.
does it for you.
No.
All right, so they take off, and the guy whose name is not worth mentioning, he comes down. He's like, "Hey guys, what's going on?" "Oh no, my face!" It gets smashed up pretty good by the newborn, and now it's caressing Call's face. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't want to kill her. There, it stops and like starts stroking the side of her face, and then Ripley comes in and she's like, "Oh hey baby, what's up?" And
She's like, drop that.
"Yeah, that's not yours. Mine, not yours." She's just being a mom to it.
And the thing's like, sorry, Mom.
So they snuggle for a bit, and she's stroking its face, and it's like, "Mama." And "I'm not your mom. You actually came out of somebody else's vagina. I was there. I saw it. So did you. You came out as a full-grown person. Or whatever thing you are.
Whatever thing you are. Also, I'm your grandma.
Yeah, I'm basically your grandma, actually. Not mommy, but Graham. And
Opa.
yeah, so, and then Ripley is like, "Ooh, I see a window behind you." So she flicks some blood at the window. That window melts, and then it happens. And I don't want to explain it. I think somebody else should describe what happens here.
There is some pasta with some meatballs, maybe a few mushrooms, chopped up mushrooms in there, with some red spaghetti sauce that is flying out of the thing.
Come on. Let's go, space pasta. Come on.
It's so much worse because, like, Ripley's character, like, feels
I'm
genuine
sorry.
remorse for killing it. Like, is sad, like,
sorry.
my grandchild, no.
Yeah, and it I swear to God, it calls out for mommy. Like, there's some roar sound effects, and I think I heard, "Mommy!" Bleh.
You know, if my grandkid was that ugly, I'd push it up some space class. It's just not gonna happen. Hey kid, space cookie!
Space pasta.
Space pasta!
It's your joke. Okay. So yeah, it gets gooified and goes out the window, and it's dead. And so then the arugula crashes into goddamn Japan and explodes, and the shockwave is bigger than the one that just happened in Don't Look Up. The entire Earth, it's an extinction level event.
It's an extinction level event. And then they go to Earth, too, for reasons unknown, because I feel like Ripley's still dangerous enough that she should probably be destroyed.
Yeah, I think so too.
And they're, like, best friends now.
Right. So what do we do now?
And they look at it, and she's like, "Here's the Earth is beautiful." And then Ripley goes, "Don't worry. It'll only take about 10 minutes, and then the nuclear winter is going to set in."
Yeah, the shockwave will destroy us because we just came out of that spaceship that just destroyed the entire planet. So, tacos?
No, I can't eat a taco after seeing that alien that had a
Space pasta.
fucking vagina cock taco on its belly.
Space taco on your belly. Okay, I'll go first. Idiot plot. Question mark.
Everybody has to be completely stupid to do anything they do.
True. So does the plot happen if one person makes a not idiotic move?
It won't. No, if somebody does anything that's not stupid, none of this would work.
Yep, it's the idiot plot. The entire thing is the idiot plot. The scientists don't need the male or not queen based. Did you know? I listened to a podcast. It was stuff you should know. It's not really that big of a surprise. Everybody listens to it, but I just listened to it about ants. If you see an ant, the overwhelming, like 99.9 to the billionth degree % is that it's a female, because there's 3 types of ants: the queen, which we all know about, the ants that we see, and then the dudes. And the dudes' job, they are very rare, like 1,000th%. There's like 5 of them out of an entire colony of dudes, and all they do is fuck the queen. That's it. That's all they do.
So
I remember this when I learned it the first time in 3rd grade. I'm going to be honest with you.
You learned about ant fucking in 3rd grade.
Yeah.
I didn't.
I think you didn't pay attention.
I probably didn't pay attention.
You were drawing pictures of spaceships. I remember when we were in high school, and I'm like, I remember that from science. And you're like, I don't remember. They didn't teach us that. And I was like, you were drawing pictures of an X-Wing and not paying attention. I was there.
Actually, that was a Van Halen logo. I'm just really bad.
There's some of them were, there was a lot of drawings.
So basically, ladies, you are fucked.
Yeah. So, they don't need the xenomorphs. They don't need the male or the female xenomorphs, whatever the non-queens are. They've got the technology to do what they're trying to accomplish, which means the plot doesn't need to even happen.
So if a lady ant decides this is bullshit, I don't want to go out and get business, I'm going to kill the queen.
Ooh, little regicide?
Yeah. Can she do that?
Well, no, because they're ants and they don't actually have human emotions or thoughts and desires. They're part of a hive mind more than anything. So,
damn it.
But like, are you asking if somehow
there's a
human ant hybrid was to be made, and that ant human hybrid was like Sid Vicious and decided to whack the queen? Would there be repercussions? Yeah, I'm guessing there'd be repercussions.
Game of Thrones.
What if
ants.
the ant-human hybrid had both male and female genitalia? Isn't that like...
It would hug the queen and
the
smash her to death.
biggest what if ever?
Yeah.
The people that made this were like, what if?
What if? All right, who's next?
This really isn't... Here's the questions. Why have aliens beyond the queen on this vessel?
Mm-hmm.
Why program it Plan B to go to Earth?
Mm-hmm.
Why put more than one of the aliens in the crate?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
The
make the
answer
crate
is-
out of material that reacts to the very thing that the aliens are made out of.
Yes. The answer is yes, I guess.
The answer is yes.
I've got a ponytail.
Yep.
That's the answer.
I'm too busy making science to actually think about things.
Because I can't ask any questions about this because it's so stupid. Because that's what happens in this movie. They like do a bunch of extra making the aliens so that they can sabotage themselves and then shoot themselves at Earth.
All right. Well, I got one that we can't ask about how stupid it is, which is the dumbest part. Jackie, I'll start with you. What's the dumbest part of Alien Resurrection? And it's tough. It is tough.
Dumbest part. The guy, the scientist guy talking at the end is like, he thinks you're mom.
You're his bummy.
And that whole sequence of the baby being born and then chopping off the other guy's head. And the scientist is narrating it like he's fucking seen it before. He's like, this is totally how it happens.
Like he's Richard Attenborough.
He's like a fucking nature documentarist in the background. And I think that's the dumbest part for me. It's like, really? Thanks, National Geographic.
Okay, Sam.
Yeah, Beautiful Butterfly is the dumbest part because it makes what should be the dumbest part is the newborn itself. The reveal of that is like, it's such a like, whoa, bad job. But it takes that and elevates it to a level of beyond stupid that is incomprehensible.
I agree.
Where he's like, come to me, beautiful butterfly. Come over and chomps his fucking head off. It is, when I saw this in the theater and that happened, I'm like, I was angry that I paid full price for it because it wasn't even a matinee. It was like, oh, fuck, I spent a lot on this.
I was going to say Dan Heday's death, the oh no, my brains move. But you guys have talked me into it. It's Brad Dourif's Beautiful Butterfly.
It's fucking narration.
It's the stupidest thing I've seen in any movie, definitely that costs this much, but it may be the dumbest thing I've seen in a fucking movie.
Yeah, it's really
Beautiful
stupid.
Butterfly is the dumbest shit ever, and it's like a sparkling, gleaming majesty of stupid shit.
And not to mention that, like, he's just waiting for her to wake up. Like, he's got it all into the back of his head. He's like, this is what I'm going to say when she fucking wakes up.
I've been practicing.
Yeah, I mean, he's been boring the other fuckers that are next to him for a while, and they're like, I'm just going to play dead now. Ah! Quit talking to me, dick face.
All right, that wraps that up. Final recommendations. I will start with Shacky.
Oh, no.
Really? Okay.
I don't like goop.
Yeah, all right.
She doesn't like space either.
And
This
I don't
is
like
just
space.
not any of...
I don't like any of it, but...
They're basically fast zombies when you think about it. She doesn't like zombies either. Like,
Yeah, I
this
don't like
this
zombies.
is definitely everything that Jackie hates in one movie.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Thanks, Sam.
Sam?
I do it. I mean, how many times have you seen it?
Yeah.
I've seen this like 5 times now. Where I'm at now, I mean, if you've never seen it and you like bad movies, you have to watch this one because it's dumb as fuck. But I've seen it enough now that I'm giving this one a rest. I'm probably not going to watch this movie again for 10 years because it makes me so mad.
Yeah, okay.
I'm emotionally angry for the rest of the day. I think that we have to go to Sizzler for dinner to like cheer me up.
I think you're absolutely right. I think I'm done with this movie. I think this was the last time. I've seen it probably as many times as you have, Sam. Jackie and I watched it less than 2 years ago, and I was like, oh my God, this is an episode. Oh, yeah, you were here too. Yeah.
We all watched it together,
Yeah,
and
this
I
is
was
an episode.
pissing and moaning the whole time. And it's one of those that I'm like, I'm glad we got here. I've got a few more other ones that are sticking in my craw, but like, this is why I show up, is to bitch about movies like this. And this is one of my most hated movies, and I've watched it like 5 times.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, if you saw it in the theater, it's time for you to watch it again. You have forgotten how stupid it is. If you've never seen it, yes, you have to watch it. But if you're anything other than those two things, man, it takes 35 minutes for the movie to start. It's just too much dicking off, too much hang-downing, and again, how stupid it is. And it's not just how, like, it's not groan-inducing stupid at times. It's just like, you have to put effort to make something that stupid. Like, you thought about making it stupider, and you succeeded, sir. It is stupid. Yes.
It is so stupid. It's got to be, like, it's number one in so many categories that it's like, now I'm talking myself back in and like, well, if you haven't seen it in a while and you forgot about it, maybe you should watch it. Because it's like, this is number one in a movie this stupid can't make money. It doubled its money.
It made a shit ton. Everybody saw this.
It made a shitload of money. It is the stupidest movie to do any of the things that it does. It is so dumb.
I actually have memories of watching this movie when it came out. I can tell you, I saw it probably 3 times in that first year that it came out. And I can tell you each time I saw it, like, this movie is ingrained into my existence. I don't like it, though.
Oh, you two are such losers. In 1997, totally. I was making out with whoever I could get my hands on.
I was making out, but one eye was on the... Oh, look at that dumb alien hybrid.
Yeah.
Also, your body's gross who I'm making out with. You kind of look like that. Maybe I should make out with the hybrid. That'd be a step up.
Really just...
Wow.
Like, this movie also points me to where everything went wrong when they needed to make another Alien. Mm-hmm. Because this idea has been done better in video games.
Oh, absolutely.
Because Halo is this idea.
Yeah, it is.
Dead Space is this idea.
Alien Isolation is this idea.
Alien, but didn't that game suck?
No, it's really good.
Oh, okay.
I just hate it because it's really hard.
Mario Kart.
Mario Kart is definitely an alien inspired. weird game.
I mean, I could see it, right? You're blowing shit up and just kind of doing whatever.
Let's go.
Let's go. And,
Yeah.
you know, you're weighing it. I mean, which is pretty much what this movie is.
The first movie doesn't step all over itself, and every subsequent Alien movie steps all over itself with giving you questions. Like in Alien 2, the aliens start killing people. They can't. Why? You have to capture everybody. You need all of the people for your reproduction cycle. Right. And then the first Alien ends in a question that never gets answered by the other ones. It gets shot out into space. Does it die in space? It doesn't need to die. That's the thing. She gets away from it. That's all we know and all we need to know. It's such a robust creature, it might not even fucking die in space, and that question has never been answered.
And it clearly has no problem with being super chilly, because it gets sprayed for a long time in this movie, and that one guy comes in and gets sprayed for 2 seconds and his arms come off. So
yeah, they're like, it's an inconvenience.
Yeah.
Fuck you, dude.
I'll just float around in space for a really long time.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you get squirted with water. Like a cat gets squirted with water. It's not going to hurt it.
Yeah.
But the cat's like, I don't like it.
So the alien's floating around in space one day, and then it sees Jason X pass them, and they're like, "I loved you in Wall Street."
Yeah, this whole series is like, it's a great first movie, and then everything after is just a spiraling shitball. Like even Ridley Scott comes back, and he's like, wow, this thing that I created has turned into a dumpster fire. Somebody get me a truckload of diarrhea and somebody else get me a truckload of gasoline to put on this dumpster fire, because the fucking his two afterwards are like, what the fuck?
Right. Yep. Okay, let's wrap things up. We do have one thing that Jackie and I want to talk about today. We have some big fucking news, but actually, Jackie and I have decided to move away from Boise, Idaho. We are leaving our home state and moving all the way across country to Illinois. And this is happening in March. So why that matters to you, dear listener, is the show will still go on. We are not doing Sam in person. We haven't in 2 years, and it's actually works pretty darn good.
It actually helps the editing process so goddamn much.
Really
not having the three-way bleed.
Yeah.
Like, it was great.
I'd like to actually send Jackie to a different side.
Yeah, if Jackie was in a different room, it would be so fucking easy to edit the shit.
It really would. So that won't really impact you, but why it does is there will be a gap where Tucker will probably have to come in and step up like he did when we adopted our son while we get established, because we will not have a house for almost a month. I might pop in and do some episodes on like my laptop or something, but we're not going to have all the studio equipment set up until we get into an actual house. So that does affect you, but also, Illinois is one of our biggest states. It's actually second behind California as far as listenership. So Jackie and I will actually be closer to a lot of our fans.
Yeah. And if you're a complete fucking weirdo and you're like us and we're complete fucking weirdos and you want to go have lunch.
Yeah, hit us up.
We're in.
Talk at stinkermadness.com if you live on the west side of the state via St. Louis metro area. So,
yeah, I mean, we'd love to meet some new people, and, we'll be out there without a lot of friends since we both grew up here. Mm-hmm. And, if you want to meet up and maybe make a new friend, hit us up style.
And you might be asking, well, why? What's wrong with Boise? And it is just because we want to get as far away from Sam as we possibly can. So
he smells.
Stay tuned.
We've experienced like the vagina/penis of an alien hybrid newborn.
No, I mean, we can be honest with them and tell them the truth that our property value has gone up to where LA's property value has, and our salary hasn't budged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a financial carpet-bagged wasteland here.
Yeah.
The Idaho that we grew up in is gone.
It does not exist anymore, no.
Yeah, and my parents have also retired and moved out to that area because they were also able to sell their house for an exorbitant amount of money for profit. And, we just decided my sister's out there, and it would be good to keep the family together.
Yep, so that's more personal detail that we probably need to get involved with. I would have ended with the truth of Sam's odor.
All right. Well, Sam, you fucking smell, and that's why we're moving.
I mean, it's so bad that you still, because you live 50 miles away now, that it wafts into our county.
Yeah, and when
alien vagina penis combo.
Yeah, when it hits the porch and my son goes, "What's that smell?" and I'm like, "Don't ask, just go down to your room."
It's very much like Chris Christopherson's, just his aura, just smelly. I'm kidding. Sam doesn't smell as bad as Chris Christopherson. Nobody.
Chris Christopherson probably smells like a saint. Fuck you. He is gorgeous.
He smells like that alien's butthole.
He's got whiskey sweats 24/7.
And I love it. I'm like, let me just lick your skin.
Maybe that's why we can't find him on the Highwayman song, is because nobody let him into the studio because he smells like an alien's asshole.
Fuck you guys. Chris Christopherson is wonderful. And he's fucking handsome.
He's so gross. Okay, we got to end this show. Thanks for listening, guys. Support us on Patreon, patreon.com/StickerMadness. Get to facebook.com/StickerMadness. And in the meantime, get to the bed.